Do you ever feel so overwhelmed at work or at home that you can't get anything done? Me too. And if you're anything like me, you get so stressed out that even doing the little stuff is hard. Now, stress is nothing more than just a feeling of emotional or physical tension. And sometimes it can actually be a good thing. And, in short bursts, like, forcing your body to meet a tight deadline, prepare for a job interview, or, maybe help you avoid danger. But more commonly, it can make it hard for you to focus or even just make those simple decisions. So today, I want to give you 5 ways to help you manage stress in your life. And I say manage because there'll always be stress in your life. It's not going away no matter what you do. So it's best to learn how to keep it under control. Okay, let's jump right in here. Number one, remember your past successes. Make a simple folder or file, where you can keep track of all the things that you've done at work so that you can look back on them at any time. And by keeping track of your accomplishments, you can see how well you did in the past and then use that as a standard to either meet or exceed. You see, looking at your past accomplishments can help you to refocus on the present while giving you a boost of energy and help you get back on track so you can continue making progress. You see, making progress in your work is really the single most important thing you can do to improve your mood, your motivation, your attitude. And the idea is that it's these small wins that keep us going, especially when we're stressed. I mean, psychologically, how we feel isn't really based on whether or not we've reached our goal, but on our perception of progress. For example, Zappos, all Zappos, the shoe people, they used to have an 18-month, probably still do, an 18-month management training program where it would take 18 months for a candidate to become a manager. No exceptions. You had to go through 18 months. But they found that their management trainees became disengaged in the program after 6 months. They kind of started losing sight of the goal. So what Zappos did was, Tony Hsieh of Zappos, really smart guy, he split it up into 3 levels. So he had a manager 1, manager 2, and manager 3, which with each one taking 6 months. So after 6 months, you'd become manager 1. For another 6 months, you'd become manager 2, and then finally be manager 3. Now, it's these small rewards at each level that outweigh one big reward after 18 months. Same program, just it takes just as long, but with the small milestone rewards, the management candidates enjoyed the journey so much more and were far less likely to get stressed out along the way. All right, let's move on here to number 2, sleep. When you have so much to do in a day, it just seems to make sense to cut back on some sleep, give yourself a little bit more time in the day, but at what a huge cost to your body. But you see, not getting enough sleep really diminishes your ability to make decisions and impairs your judgment and thus increases stress in your body. But when you're well rested, you can think through and solve problems with a clear head, and you're much better equipped to deal with and manage stress. Make sense? All right, let's move on here to number 3. Plan your work and work your plan. One of the best ways to deal with stress in the workplace is to plan and organize your work first. Then you do it. Now, this is true whether, you're planting a garden or planning a project at work. By getting organized first, you leave no room for mistakes. And just doing that alone practically cuts off stress at the knees. Getting organized can also feel exciting, empowering, instead of, boring and hard, which makes it more likely that you'll keep it up in the long run. Okay, let's move on here to number 4. Avoid working and eating at the same time. If you want to be more productive at work, make sure they eat somewhere different so that your mind can get a break too. Eating at your desk is bad for your health, and it doesn't really help you meet deadlines, and it's a lot harder to concentrate when you're doing 2 things at once. I know, I've done it before too. Sometimes I've really just felt like I had to eat and work at my desk at the same time and plow through that, but it comes at a cost. It really does. So even though you may be getting a lot more work done, you're not giving your mind a break, which leads to exhaustion and stress. And additionally, getting away from your desk to eat lunch can help your mood, your mental state, and improve your work when you return. All right, let's move on to the last one here, number 5. Build a routine of positive habits every day. Routines make it easy for you to stick to the same schedule every day because with a routine, you know what to expect. And that way, your mind doesn't have to think about all the time, what you're going to do next. And it can just follow a routine instead. Your mind can really only think about one thing at a time. You might think you're a multitasker and you can handle all these different things at once, but what you're really doing is thinking very quickly about each thing individually. And you're doing this over and over and over, and that really kind of just leads to stress and burnout. It's much easier to wake up in the morning, know exactly what you're going to do. For me, my day is highly structured and I have a plan for each and every day. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I take a 10-minute walk. If it's not raining, then I'll do 40 minutes of yoga. Then I'll have a light breakfast with some oatmeal and coffee. And while I do all that while I read a book. And at this point, I have not looked at my phone or checked my email. You see, the science behind not checking messages for at least 1 hour after you wake up is fascinating. By doing so, you're essentially priming your brain for distractions for the rest of the day. And before you even get to the office, you're already primed and prepared to be on edge for the rest of the day. And this creates space for stress to begin. So, I hope these 5 stress-reducing tips help you to become more balanced in your day, so you make better decisions, so you just feel better. And one last tip just came to mind here while I was doing this, so I'm going to share it with you really quick. When you're feeling down, try changing your posture. You see, simple changes to your physiology can directly impact your mood. If you're bummed out about something, with your head hanging low, try sitting up straight, pick your head up, put your shoulders back, put a smile on your face. It's really hard to feel down when your physiology is incongruent with your feelings. So if you're feeling sad, your body mirrors how you feel. Your shoulders are going to drop, your face is going to drop, and you're just going to, feel bummed. You're going to look bummed out. But if you change your body, your feelings will change too. Try it. It works. And it works instantly. But don't get me wrong. There's times to feel sad, but there's no need to keep feeling that way. And that's why it's good to have something like this in your tool belt so that you can pull yourself out of, situations, bummed out situations when you need to. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found that that this will help you pull out a little bit of stress in your life, in your daily routine, maybe at work, maybe at home, and maybe create a little bit more structure in your day. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you'd like, please subscribe. That way you'll get notified every time I release a new video. And there's no charge for subscribing. It's absolutely free for you. That's really all I have for you today. I wish you all the best in reducing stress. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.